What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to LFG. Today we're going to be doing a video on Eternal card game here. The Dead Reckoning campaign is out, so I'm going to go over the 18 new cards from the campaign in this video, and then I will do a second video with the first playthrough of the campaign. I was going to just do one long video, however, it's going to be too long, so I'm going to just split it up. So Dead Reckoning campaign is now available for 1,000 gems or 25,000 gold. Play 18 new missions, collect 25 new cards. I think I said 18 new cards, so it's the other way around. 18 missions, 25 cards. So this includes premium animations and custom Valkyrie wings on the playmat. Comes with a custom emote. Face your judgment. Is this... Okay, so this is different than the other Acharya emote. Okay. The wings pretty much look the same, but I love this new Acharya art. It's really nice. Okay. I do like that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. There's a possibility I will. So that's cool. There's also some changes, some patch notes with this update as well. So this is going over the avatar. I already went over this. If you stream, which I don't really stream that often on Twitch right now, players who stream Eternal can now link their Twitch accounts. Paired with the Eternal Stream extension, you can provide viewers the ability to zoom cards on your playmat, view your deck list, including optional export functionality. That's pretty cool. View your deck list while you draft, forge, or build decks in the deck builder. This is a really, if this works the way it's supposed to, this is a really good addition to the game. Voidbound. Voidbound has been added to cards that can't leave the void to increase clarity and remove text clutter. So a card like Excavate would now say Voidbound, I'm assuming. There's no functional change from the text-based description. UI updates. Create all will now only craft unowned cards if all unowned cards can be crafted. That's good. The message of the day will now highlight new tiles to make it easier to find news you haven't read yet. I like that as well. Cards that display a list of selections should now stack all identical cards and show how many cards are in each stack. And we will be updating the required... Yeah, I'm not going to go over those. And there's some bug fixes. Yeah, I'm not going to go over all that. So let's go over the cards, and so I can do the playthrough videos. So let's start with the Legendaries. Venom Rider is 4 with double time requirement for a 3/3. Has deadly and charge, pretty good. The ultimate is pay 5 and give Venom Rider -1/-1 to play a 1/1 Sand Strider with deadly and killer. So this would become a 2/2, but you would have a 1/1 with deadly and killer as a blocker. So basically, you can be aggressive with this card, and when a 3/3 just isn't good enough anymore anyways, you can kind of switch to defense by making a blocker that has it's deadly and killer. That's actually pretty aggressive. Never mind. Forgot it said killer. So you can basically pay 5 to kill a unit is what it works out to be. This is pretty good. This is a good card. I like it, and the stats aren't ridiculous. So it's very killable. It even dies to torch. It's very killable. But it's a very aggressive card as well. And we have the new Acharya. It is 2 with double justice influence for 1/1 flyer with endurance. Those are already really good stats. If you have 2, 4, 6 justice influence, she gets +3/+2. So she'd be a 4/3 flyer with endurance, and the ultimate is to pay 3 to play a justice sigil from your deck depleted. So her ultimate, you can pretty much play the next turn after you play her, and you'll be on your way towards getting the 6 influence you need a lot faster. Each Valkyrie in your hand gets +1/+1. Nice. Okay. Like the card. It's very killable, but it's it's the complete opposite of the other Acharya. This comes down really early, and it can fit right into an aggro deck. So aggro got more cards. Yay. Baraka Queensguard. A 6 for a 7/7 with triple primal influence, and she has Overwhelm. So good stats right off the bat. 6 for a 7/7 with Overwhelm. When you play Island, she gets Aegis, so that's a bonus right there. And you are in the colors to play Island. I would see this more in a blue-green than anything. Summon. Stun an enemy unit. It stays stunned while you have this card in play. So it stuns, has Overwhelm, and you get a bonus if you have Island. I like this card. Nothing busted about it, just a really strong card with good stats at Legendary. This is what Legendaries should be. They don't need to be overly busted, just really good. Huru Pacifier. Okay, so this card I see being in a lot of sideboards that play these colors going forward, especially in the ETS. So it's 3 with double Justice and 1 primal influence, and it's 3 for a 3/4 flyer with Overwhelm. So the stats are already good, right? 3 for a 3/4 flyer with Overwhelm is already good, and weapons can't be played. So I could see this definitely being a 2 or 3 off in sideboards to just completely hose these removal pile decks that win with weapons, or these armory decks or anything like that. So this is a really solid card. It's not, I don't think I'm going to see a lot of it being played straight up on ladder, because you're not going to be seeing that many Hoover decks anyways, but I can definitely see this being a really played sideboard card. Next up we have Oni Dragonsmith, which is 1 for a 1/1 fire. Your dragons cost 1 less. Dragon ally gets +2/+1 and quick draw. So if you have a dragon in play, which you can get a dragon for as cheap as 4 mana, this becomes a 3/2 with quick draw, which is pretty good. Not a bad card. Really good ability and stats for a rare. Memento Mori. This, I can see this being played in a lot of fun decks. I might try it out myself in a Nikto Traxian deck. It's 4, it increases your maximum power by 1, and you also gain 1 of every influence in the game. So you can play a 5-color deck without really playing 5 colors if you want to risk it. I mean, ideally you just splash at least 1 sigil of each color that you're only playing for a couple cards, and then you run this. But this is really good. This is a really fun card. And we have Hailstorm. If you play Magic, this is a fixed version of Anger, basically, because Anger exiles and this just does 3 damage. Point being, this card is going to see a lot of play because there's a few units right now in aggro that survive Lightning Storm. I'm thinking of that 2/3 green flyer. I'm thinking of a lot of shadow cards. A lot of things with 3 toughness that are very aggressive, and this will kill them. So I think you're going to see people reducing their Lightning Storm and increasing their Hailstorm. The trade-off, of course, is that this costs 1 more, but it's going to be worth it in a lot of the matchups. So this is a welcome addition with how the meta is right now. We have Argenport Sewer next. It's 4 triple shadow influence, and when you play it, you summon Nightfall. When you start your turn at night, play 2 1/1 rats that can't block. Let's see what they look like. Oops. Okay. At the end of your turn, if you have 3 or more rats, sacrifice Argenport Sewers. Alright, so you get to be kind of aggressive with this card, so to speak, because they can't block anyways. But if you get too many rats with it, you lose the card. That's the trade-off. Seems fine. Sure, someone's going to end up having some fun with it. It seems fine to me, though. Nothing great or bad about it to me. Next up, we have Sandglass Juggernaut. It's 5 double fire, double time influence for a 6/1 with Reckless. So this card looks like a suicide card. Invulnerable to damage, not a suicide card. Interesting. Summon, you exhaust Sandglass Juggernaut. So it has to attack every turn. The turn it comes into play, it cannot be a blocker because it exhausts itself when it comes into play. That being said, this survives a lot of stuff. It survives combat for sure. Still dies to removal spells, but to burn, it does not die to burn. The only burn spell that kills it is Purify would work, because Purify silences it first, then does 3 damage to it. But this is a good card. I like this. The only turn that it could be on defense, which is the turn you summon it and say go, it can't be on defense. So that's the whole point of this. This card is never going to be able to block. I still like this card. That's really good flavor. Next up we have Sower of Descent. 3 for a 2/4. When you Warcry unit or weapon, reduce its cost by that much. And she has Warcry 2 if you have a Valkyrie. So another card for aggro here. On one hand, I don't know about how I feel about this card reducing the cost of stuff you're pumping. But on the other hand, if you're playing this in an aggro deck, the stuff that you're given Warcry is already cheap to cast anyways. So I don't think it's going to affect that much. All in all, this is a pretty solid card in my opinion. It's 3 for a 2/4 to start, and if you have any kind of Valkyrie, which you might, it gets Warcry 2. And this ability, it's gonna go off in this faction, in Rakano. Next up we have Gerald, Ameren, Ghostblade. 2 for a 2/3. And the ultimate is pay 5 to double the power and health of one of your units wielding a weapon. Okay. I mean, you're going to play this in a deck where you can utilize the ultimate, right? You're not going to play it just for the stats. You can get 3 3s for 2 and stuff like that, so seems fine. Now we have Anointer of the Faithful. This is 2 for a 1/3. Argenport influence. Has lifesteal. Okay, like what I see already. Summon, give a paladin in your hand bond. When you play another paladin, play a 1/1 weapon on it. How many paladins are in this game right now? Oh wow, Thornwarden's a paladin. I did not even know that. Interesting. So you have Hero of the People, Order, Copper Hall, Thornwarden, of course, Crown Watch. Ah, and the champion, the Argenport champion and Oathbreaker are both paladins. Interesting. Just trying to see if I can find some use for the second ability, because right now I can. This just having lifesteal and 3 health, 3 toughness, I can already see use for this in a deck I have. So I like this card. I like this card a lot. Can come down and be a blocker early. Does die to Torch and a few other things, but it's not bad. Let's continue with the rares. We have another Yeti. 3 for a 1/5. 1/5, wow. Pock Rockpacker, Reckless, Bond. When you bond him, you get to create and draw a snowball. This is pretty good for a 1/5 for 3. That's pretty good. Lethrai Skystrider. It says 4 for a 2/2. When Lethrai Skystrider attacks, you're attacking elves. There's what? Your attacking elves get flying this turn. Elf ally. Draw a spell from the top 4 cards of your deck. Discard the rest. Elves. Elves are one of my favorite creature types in Magic. So I'm very happy to see elves. Funny. I'm not sure these were elves before. I could be wrong, but I feel like these were probably eroded. Yeah, for sure. I don't think some of these were elves before. I could be wrong. Someone correct me down below. But I feel like those weren't all elves before. Anyways, not a bad card. Mitotic Wisp. 2/4/0/3 with flying. Your radiance costs 1 less, and the ultimate when 7 other units go to the void, draw a radiant of your choice from your deck. And you can make this happen in that faction. Boar, for 1 mana, kill an enemy attachment, create and draw a copy of Boar, then discard it at the end of the turn. So you can... This reminds me of... I cannot remember the magic card name, but it's a red card with overload that destroys all opponents' artifacts. This gives me the same vibe. So on the turn you cast this, if they have multiple attachments, you can go nuts. But at the end of the turn, that's it. Right? So this would create a copy of itself. You could do it again. End of turn, whatever, the one that's left in your hand just gets discarded. So the following turn you can't do it. I like the flavor on this a lot. Alright, Tripwire Grenadine. Summon, deal 1 damage, and Tomb, deal 1 damage. That's not bad. And it doesn't say to a unit or enemy, so you get to choose. It's pretty good. Bury the Past. Put a unit or relic on the bottom of its owner's deck. This is pretty strong, which of course is why it costs 6 and is not a fast spell. Also has triple time influence, but at 6 that's not that relevant. It's probably not going to see a lot of play. Maybe in the control I could see some play, but for 6, yeah. Next up we have Inquisitors Blade. It's 4 for a 3/1. Okay, so flying. When the wielder dies, give Inquisitor's Blade Destiny and put it in the top 10 cards of your deck. So I like this card. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Ward Wielder. 2 for a 2/2, +3/+3 while you have an Aegis. And that's pretty easy to accomplish. There's even the Waystone that gives you Aegis at this point. Rip Knife Assassin. 2 for a 2/2 with Deadly and Warcry. Really good abilities. It dies to a lot of stuff, but I mean, any units it goes up against, it's going to trade with. And it has Warcry, so it's going to put your opponent in a position where they want to block it. Going a bit faster here because even this video is going a little bit long, so I want to finish it off so I can get into the campaign. We have Equivocate. 2, put a unit into its owner's hand, then transform it into a random unit with the same cost. This is pretty good. It's a fast spell. You can wait until they're attacking, then bounce the unit, which means you don't have to worry about the damage that turn, and you don't have to worry about that unit that turn either. The trade-off is it might turn into a better unit, but at least you don't have to worry about it that turn. And finally we have Overwinder. It's 3 for a 2/4. And when one of your Grenadine hits the enemy player, each player discards the top 2 cards of their deck. Of course, Grenadines don't care about that at all, as they utilize their graveyard and they have Gear Cruncher that can take advantage of units being in their graveyard that they milled as well. So that is the 25 cards that you can get from this. I will see you guys in the next video when we go through the actual campaign.